Thank you very much for seeing us.
It's my pleasure.
You're back, season 2. How are you feeling?
I'm excited. I can't wait for everyone to get to see what we've been up to.
Well, in particular, even the first episode is very much about you and your backstory.
Sure.
And it's very, very funny. What was it kind of like delving into the character that bit more?
I think it's important for us to get to know sort of how he became who he is. So that, in the first season, we sort of just meet Titus and we just have to accept his isms without any explanation. So I think this allows it to be a lot more palatable, a lot more digestible, and you have a lot more empathy for him, I think.
What about the actual, I suppose, going back and doing the scenes, the wedding scene in particular, a striking haircut as well you're sporting?
I never sported that.
Do you like doing those kind of scenes or the kind of retrospective stuff?
Sure. I mean, as long as it's serving the story, I'll do whatever they want, yeah.
And what about the dynamic between you now and Kimmy? I mean, presumably the relationship has grown as the series go on, so you're much better together.
Yeah, they are finally acting like real roommates act, and they're getting into fights. They're sharing a lot more personal information, and they subsequently need each other a lot more.
What about the reaction now? Do you find now that people are approaching you more now that the character is just so established?
Perhaps after Friday it'll be a lot more, but it's been a pretty steady flow since a little bit over a year ago now since we were introduced to the world.
Do people differentiate between you and Titus? I know the same name, but
I do.
You do.
But a lot of people have. They meet me and I think they're a little disappointed because I'm not as ebullient as he is.
What about working with Tina as well? I mean, is that the dream job?
Oh, of course, man. I mean, like she's a living legend, a comedic giant, and she operates with great skill. And I couldn't ask for a better teacher in terms of this foray into television.
What about the actual process itself? Because I presume when you're handed a script, it's written by Tina Fey, that you want to stick to it. But I presume there's lots of scope as well for going off.
No, there's no improvisation.
Really?
None.
That's surprising.
None. That's the genius of it.
Okay.
And because of that, they don't need my help trying to write. So I say exactly what they tell me to say, and if they request that I throw in a couple of extras here and there, I'll do that. But I don't lead with that because it's hard enough to memorize their very specific sort of cadences and their patterns. So, after you do that, you're exhausted. You don't have much else.
How does it compare to the Broadway scene and certainly the productions?
How does what compare?
How does the TV series compare to being to Broadway? Obviously, the runs are longer in Broadway. So.
Sure. I mean, you have to do it 8 times a week. But you're doing the same thing versus, you film an episode. It takes about 6 days to turn around one episode, and you discard the information. So that's mainly the main difference.